Hey, how you guys doing? Hope you had a good end of your trading week. I got 3 trades to go over with you guys. One mediocre trade on Uber, and then 2 really solid trades on Dropbox and Yelp. But before we get into that, again, if you like the videos, please like, subscribe, leave me a comment, show me some feedback. Let me know what you guys like and don't like. And with that being said, let's jump right into it. First trade I said will be on Uber. Uber was a mediocre trade. It was gap down stock on earnings. And so that being the case, looking to take it short. But I honestly should have stayed away from Uber like altogether because Uber was, the hot stock of the day, right? It was the name in play. Uber, the big name that it is, everybody's looking at it. Everybody's looking to trade it in some form or fashion. And I oftentimes find the hot name of the day to be a really, really crowded trade. And they just tend not to move cleanly and not to move how you'd really expect. And so that being the case, Uber did have some weird behaviors, and I just should have stayed away from it altogether. It just didn't give me the action I really wanted. So I traded it pretty much right off the open right here in the first minute. I waited a little bit and it pushed, tested VWAP. It got stuck in this little consolidation area up here. And as it started to come down, I decided to take it short for the break of this range. Went short, just kind of like half position, half size, kind of just waited around, started to come back down lower and break the range, added, and then I just covered down into this wash. And then I was just starting to hold a little bit and started to creep back higher. I took another cover. And then the other half of my position, I just, decided to put a stop at my entry and just see if it came back to VWAP and reject it. Unfortunately, it came back up, stopped me out. And as you can see on the 5 minute, it decided to push and trend back higher. So that was my Uber trade. Nothing to write home about, nothing special, but a winner. But ultimately, I probably should stay away from trades like that in the future. It was just too crowded and just a little whippy. So next trade we'll go to is Dropbox DBX. Let me just go ahead and frame up the chart here really quick to take a look at it. 930. All right, here we go. So Dropbox, another earnings play. This one had a much nicer, cleaner, predictable move. So you'll see here on the 1 minute, sorry, let me zoom everything up. 1 minute, obviously during this beginning period of time, I was focused on Uber, but even then, Dropbox provided a nice, wonderful entry. You see on these first 2 minutes, it came down, it held the support price line area, it bounced a little bit. It gave you a nice entry up here, sort of near VWAP, so that would have been a much better entry. But eventually I came back to it. It still provided a very solid entry. It tested, failed, and on this candle, it tested again and was failing. On the way back down, I decided to take it short. I should have added here at the break of the range, but I didn't. So I went short, and then after that, I just started covering to the wash. Covered here at a 50-cent gain, covered here at the whole number. This I'm not happy with, right? These extra covers down here, let me zoom in a little bit more. These extra covers down here, I'm not happy with. These were just nervous covers, right? This one I'm happy with. This cover I'm happy with. These ones, not so much. These were just kind of lightening my position up in case it did want to go back up. Obviously, I had a bad taste in my mouth from Uber. So I had that sort of in the back of my head and messing with my psychology. But still, these covers, these two right here were bullshit ones. I shouldn't have done it. That was just nerves getting in my way. If anything, I should have started covering. If it started to come up 50% of the candle, of the big red candle, that's a point of a change in character. But as long as it's under that 50% of the previous, large leg down, I think it's still okay to hold on to your position. So these covers I shouldn't have taken, but I did. But that being the case, though, I did have a little redemption in the sense that I added back to my position, right? So as it was failing these pushes higher, stalling and failing, it was holding a range. It was just kind of holding this range. It started to come back down. I was reading the tape. I was feeling the price action. I felt it was going to take another leg lower. So I added back, not all these shares, but some of them that I took off. And then it was chopping sideways, but it was even at a little lower level. And then it started to break down lower, took another cover. And from here, I had like a small fraction of my position left. And I suffered through this retest of VWAP. Again, had I been really on my game, I should have been adding back here. Get up to VWAP, failed. I should have probably added back right there. As I was starting to curl back down, I should have added back. This is something I want to get better at. Realizing the stock is trading in a range or in a pattern and adding and trading around a core position. So I should have added to my shares here, but I didn't. Oops. But I held on to my original position, and I just started to take covers as it came back down into this support line I had drawn out. So cover, and then this was a final cover because I was just done. I didn't think it was going to go any lower. Obviously, it did here. You see here on the 5 minute, but it was just for the most part sideways. It didn't do too much lower. I missed out on what 25 cents. So that was that. Happy on the Dropbox trade, and then the final trade we're going to go over with is on Yelp. Yelp was a very nice trade too. Let me go ahead and frame this up just so I can remind myself. Yeah, so Yelp. This is one of my shorting a gap up stock sort of things. The reason I felt confident shorting this was obviously the price action, but also the daily, right? Look here down here on the daily. It gapped up, yes. Let me zoom out on the daily so we can see a better thing. Generally speaking, Yelp has been struggling. Saturday charts are struggling to load. Anyways, you see right here, it had gapped down once, gapped down twice. So there's generally weakness, some big sellers in there, people not wanting to let the stock go up, just an overall negative perception of it, right? So today, or I'm sorry, on Friday, it gaps up, but it gaps up into all of this mess, all of this jargon, a place where, bag holders are probably gonna get out, right? Because it's a previous pivot, double top right there, and there's all this chop over here at the left. So generally speaking, it would be very difficult for this to break out and push higher. So that gave me some confidence that this might be a pretty weak stock to take short. And so that being the case, of course, price action dictates everything. So you can't just go off assumptions alone. You have to, read the tape, watch the chart, see what the stock is doing. So obviously, initially in the morning, I was focused on other things, but you can see here on the 1 minute, it did some pushes higher, and it stalled out at this previous resistance area, at this 39 line I had drawn out. It kind of stalled, and it was just going sideways, right? Let me zoom in here so we get a better idea of the price action. So right here, you see it was failing, came back down to a little lower level slightly, and it was just going sideways, hanging out above VWAP. I probably should have waited for it to actually officially break below VWAP, but I felt pretty confident in the short side of this trade. So I went short here as I thought I was breaking VWAP, a little anticipation. Came back up here to the 39 level. I had my stop at 39.01, right? So I got pretty lucky. I had a pretty good stop. Again, another key minor point: don't put your stops at the whole number. Put it a couple pennies above it, because things will always test whole numbers. So I had my stop at 39.01, never got there, came back down, added as it actually broke down below VWAP, which I'm very happy about. I added to my position. And then I just started covering into the half and whole numbers, into the washes. Took a cover there on that candle wick low. Let me zoom out here. And then, I just started covering 37.75, another 50-cent profit. Covered down here as it got down to 37. Suffered a little pullback bounce. Covered again here at 37. And at this point, I think I had just like an eighth of my position left. So I was just watching it. And I was drawing trend lines just for my own education, because Yelp was trading in some pretty predictable patterns. Right here, it was, doing the slow grind higher with, a nice bottom trend line. As soon as it breaks that trend line, sorry, I'm zoomed out. Let me zoom in for you guys. So, it was following this nice bottom trend line. And as soon as it breaks that upward trend right here, would have been another great opportunity to add or go short, right? It flushed, came back over to retest that break, right? And it failed. Again, another upward trend line right there. Sorry, my lines are horrible. Another upward trend line right there. And then when that broke, another great time to add, right? And it came down in waves. It was trading nicely. It was trading in a nice pattern. And but I didn't do any ads after that. And I just held my initial eighth position, and it got down here to this 36.75 area. It broke down below it. I was hoping for really big flush. I was seeing if it was going to go back down to previous day, but it didn't. It kind of came back up, and I decided just to get out, right? I was done trading in the morning. I just decided to walk with my profits. And you'll see here on the 5 minute, it did eventually just go back up and trade sideways the rest of the day. Just more wave action. So Yelp had a nice pattern that you could have taken your money out of in a lot of different ways. But that's it. Those are my trades for Friday. Hope you guys had a good day. And I'm going to upload. Somebody asked me the other day about some other trades if I recorded my day trading live, which I do. So I'm gonna, for this session, I'm gonna upload a sped up version, I think, like 2 or 4x speed. But sometimes people just like to see trades like in action with the price action. So I'm gonna upload that for this day. Again, hope you guys had a good day. If you liked the video, please like, subscribe, comment, leave me some feedback. And I'll see you guys in the markets on Monday. Later.